Welcome back to Geekmas. Today's video is eyeshadow palettes I'm glad I didn't buy. Now, I bought plenty of eyeshadow palettes, don't get me wrong, but I was on a no buy for part of this year and a low buy as well. And I have been trying to be selective with my purchases. I have a well over 150 palettes, and these are palettes that I strongly considered purchasing, but I was able to talk myself out of it. So I am proud of myself there. If you're new, I hope you'll subscribe. Check out the Geekmas playlist because daily videos in December are happening. And let us know, what makeup product or palette did you talk yourself out of purchasing this year? Because hey, if we can save some money, that is awesome. And let's get started. Okay, first up is the Pat McGrath Holiday Collection. I actually placed an order for this, and because they didn't have some of it in stock, it never shipped, so I was able to cancel my order, which turned out, it all worked out for me there. And so I at one point wanted the Starstruck palette, which is a combination of eyeshadows and blushes. And that green really called out to me, and I just thought it was beautiful. And I'm sure it's a really good palette. The reviews I've seen do say that it is very, very good. At the end of the day, I'm glad I didn't buy it. And I think I would rather put my money towards the permanent mothership palettes. I don't know. I just feel like there's something a bit more special about those. Maybe it's partly like the packaging and also the special shades. I don't know, but I kind of think those are more exciting to me. So I'm definitely now leaning against from buying the other Pat McGrath palettes. I also almost bought the 5-pan, the bronze Ecstasy. And actually, I think this one was in that order that I ended up canceling. So hey, it all worked out. I have heard really good things though about this collection. You guys have told me that it's really good. And the 5 pans people are saying are fantastic. But you know what? I have enough eyeshadow palettes, so I'm actually really, really happy that I didn't buy these. The other one I considered, and then I thought, why am I even, oh my gosh, dogs are playing very, very loudly. I don't know if you can hear that. Anyway, we have 2 dogs now, so there's just nothing I can do about it. The mini trio chrome from Natasha Denona. Why was I even considering this? Because blue eyeshadow is like my least worn eyeshadow color. I love neutrals, I love warm tones, I love reds, I love greens. I'm wearing green today, but blue is my least worn. So why would I have even bought this other than I love the brand and I want to have all the palettes? I don't have all the palettes and I don't need to. So I'm very happy I didn't buy this. That would have been ridiculous. I don't know. I was seriously going to buy it. And then I was like, you don't even like wearing blue eyeshadow. So anyway. Okay, the other one I strongly considered is the mini Starlet palette. And this one is really, really pretty. It really is. But the reason I'm glad I didn't buy it is that at least one of the shades I already have. One of the shimmers is in one of the large Natasha Denona 28-pan palettes, which I do have. So that would have been 1 out of the 5 shadows I already own. And it's $27. I mean, it's not super expensive, but it's not super cheap. And it just would not have made sense for me to buy that when I already have 1 out of the 5 eyeshadows, and I can definitely dupe the rest. But this is a really pretty palette. It really is. And every time I saw somebody doing a look with it on Instagram, on YouTube, I was like, I want to buy that. And then I told myself, no, don't do it. Don't do it. You're good. You don't need it. Okay, another palette I almost bought, the Huda Beauty Grunge palette. This one looks really pretty, and I do have the Empowered palette, which I really, really enjoy, but I don't think I would have gotten a ton of use out of this palette. I have similar shades. It's not going to be the type of shades I'm going to reach for on a regular basis, and I did buy the full-size Xenon palette, which has a lot of these darker tones and more cool tones in there. I'm not saying they're similar by any means, but there is a bit of overlap with the whole dark smoky cool tones that we're kind of seeing in both of these palettes. So the grunge, I definitely didn't need it. I don't think I would have gotten a lot of use out of it. And I still need to get more use on the Empowered palette. So I should just be using the Empowered palette. Don't need to be buying more. I mean, I could have said this for like every palette that I own, but you know, at least I talked myself out of some of them. Okay, next up, Blend Bunny, the Lure palette. I really, really wanted this, and I do have two other Blend Bunny palettes. No, I have three Blend Bunny palettes. Sorry. And one of them was a disappointment. The other two are amazing. But the Lure palette has a lot of like teals and purples, and the teals I don't think I would use that much. The purpley shades I feel like I already have. I do think with the Blend Bunny palettes being so large, there is definitely like overlap between them. I mean, I know they're not like identical shades, but I have the Primal palette, which has plenty of purples and it has greens, which I'm much more likely wear green than I am teal. So even though the Lure palette is so pretty and the whole like mermaid vibes was really getting to me, I'm glad I didn't buy it. And then their other one, their newest palette, the Machina palette, and I really, really, really wanted that. But I ended up not because I do think it has some similarities to the Melt Cosmetics Bailey Sarian palette, which that one I did buy. Definitely not identical, but I do think there are a few similar shades. And overall, I would say I do like the Melt formula more than I like the Blend Bunny formula, but I really do like the Blend Bunny formula. And I love the Dollhouse and I love the Primal palettes, but you know, I got the Forget Me Not and that one was only okay. So kind of disappointed in that one. I talked about that in a disappointing products video in Geekmas. So I didn't need to get these and I'm really glad that I didn't. And the last palette that also, I almost bought this, the Tarte Maneater, it's called the Nightfall palette. The reason I wanted it is that I do have the Tarte Maneater After Dark, which is really good. The formula is amazing on that palette. However, I'm glad I didn't purchase this because from what I've seen, a lot of people are saying that the Nightfall is not as good as the After Dark. So I'm very happy that I didn't purchase this, even though I do think it's a pretty color story. And ironically, when I was looking up pictures for this video, it's 50% off on Ulta. So, you know, I mean, a lot of stuff is on sale right now, but that is kind of telling me that it was not as popular. I don't know, at least based on the reviews that I saw, it seemed like people, for the most part, didn't like it as much as the After Dark palette. So I have the After Dark palette. I should just use that. Same with the Huda Beauty. I have the Empowered. I should just focus on using that. I didn't need to get the Grunge. The mini Starlet, that's the one that I keep having to tell myself, hey, you have one of those shadows, like, don't buy it. Every time a sale comes around, I'm like, oh, should I get the mini Starlet? No, no, maybe I will at some point. No, don't do it, don't do it. I don't need it. But that is it for this video. Let us know, what did you talk yourself out of this year, whether it's eyeshadow, foundation, blush, maybe unnecessary skincare. Let us know. It's good to save money when we can. I mean, hey, treat yourself. I'm not saying not to do that. And like I said, I've been on a low buy now. I was on a no buy earlier this year, but moderation. I'm trying to stick with moderation. So at least I'm trying. But yeah, that is it. If you are new, I hope you'll subscribe. Let us know what you think. Check out the Geekmas playlist. A lot of videos there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.